Terrible undertakings by Crown in Canada. Repulsive, disgusting, low, degenerate, perverted. Typical Crown, and I'm no stranger to it. As this morning, Danielle Smith posts on Twitter my entire economic platform and presentation in 2019's election. She steals it for herself, except I presented that platform under Alberta, the landlocked UN nation. Not Alberta, the province in the Crown system known as Canada. And I have 2 words for everybody. Well, technically 3, but 2 major words for everybody. Sphere of influence. Just before this live, I put up a post, and it emphasizes the truth of the world, visually for everybody, undeniable. It shows you which countries control which parts of the world economically. And yes, Canada, you are under the United States of America. As I've always stated, there are 5 allies since World War II who effectually run this world, their sphere of influence. If you think Russia's a joke, you don't know anything and you don't know Europe. You can look at it. You can look at UK and you can look at France. Who are these countries? Well, again, they're the allies of World War II. They are known and cemented as the United Nations Security Council. You know, the victorious allies of World War II. They won the war. They've created spheres because they have a veto power. They dominate the world economically, militarily too. Where is Canada on that list? You're not. You're not even in the top 20. You're not even a blip on the radar. When I presented Alberta independence, when I presented provincial constitutions, all across Canada, meaning both Danielle Smith and Francois Legault have all this information. They pick and piecework what they want that won't end their crown, which nullifies and voids what they're presenting. You can't do what you say you're going to do in trade. You're going to tax, you're going to borrow tremendously from the Canadian people. This is both Francois Legault, Danielle Smith, Mark Carney, Yves Francois Blanchette, lying to all Canadians, telling you about a mythical sphere of influence where everyone's going to come rushing to the table to buy all the Canadian goods because they don't like America. They don't like China. They don't like Russia. And they're certainly going to slap away pesky UK and France in favor of Canada, right? Give your head a shake. I give you reality. I gave you Alberta independence, or any independence for any province, even Quebec. I gave it to these politicians directly. And they have wasted it, scorned it, used it, putting posts out lies that other republics in the past have exploited themselves. I give you Texas, the whole true story of Texas annexation. Can't be denied. Where Texas begged on their hands and knees after pulling a Danielle Smith, a Francois Legault, a Yves Blanchette, and a Mark Carney against all the Texans. They said, don't listen to that separatist, Sam Houston. He's an idiot, even though he won your independence, right? Don't listen to the guy who fought to make you a republic. Listen to us. We're going to have slaves. Does this sound familiar, Canadians? We're going to have Kanakas, subjects who are willingly going to work for the crown, harvest resources for the crown, pay the blow to the crown, keep this elite wealthy and rich all around the world. Oh, By the way, in violation of the 5 allies of World War II. Complete violation of all of their binding international laws. Don't worry, we're going to do it. So Texas went that road long before it ever happened, but USA created this trade system. They perfected it for the whole world and made everything excellent. Excellent for the average Joe Janes of the world. No more mass slavery. They didn't just end slavery in the United States. They ended it globally post-1945. Yes, countries still do it, but it is never in our world history, never have we ever seen human rights released onto so many billions of people. Ever before the Allies of World War II, specifically the United States model. Anyone telling you anything otherwise is a liar. These crown politicians are lying to you. When the Texans went the road they did, built all this infrastructure, went out there on the world stage, loaned and bankrupted their Texans of the independent republic, then they turned around and they begged to the United States, because the United States didn't restrict them. Who did restrict them? All the other powers out there in the world. And then the Texans are going, what? You didn't understand? You need infrastructure. You need military. You need to be able to fight. America's fought tooth and nail since 1787, since their own international military in their central union of the 50 states. They have had to fight for all of their trade. Empire after empire. It didn't end miraculously in 1787. It went on all the way into the 1930s. And now, post-World War II, America's such a massive, powerful military. The only rival, their other sphere of influencers, who, guess what, have massive, powerful militaries. Canada, you're a joke. You've got nothing, and you're never going to have anything. You rely on the United States, which means you rely on their sphere of influence. Is Danielle Smith, Francois Legault, Yves Blanchette, and Mark Carney going to be able to slap pesky USA to the side? For one, USA's not pesky. Two, you're not slapping them anywhere. They're going to slap the shit out of you. All the money Canada makes is at the bequest of the United States and what they allow us in their sphere of influence. If you can't present a military of substance, and you can't, you get no sphere of influence. And that's what's happening to you with the United States of America. And there is no China, no UK, France, or Russia to come save you. China and Russia don't want to save you. They want to crush you. They hate your guts. You have treated them awfully, and they want to destroy you. That's the reality for Canada. If you're that dumb, and you don't know this, your governments for decades have been prodding, poking, zapping. Your crown wants to save itself. All of them. I never ever once presented Bill 112, the new one, Francois Legault. I read it, by the way, everybody, yesterday. I read it in its entirety. More stolen intellectual property for me. Oh, Quebec's turning over a new leaf. Don't worry, with the assistance of the taxpayer in massive debt loading upon all the subjugated slaves of tomorrow, meaning my children will have zero future. They're going to get all these things done. We're going to be a united country with massive trade throughout the world. Throwing aside China, Russia, USA, UK, and France, because everyone's going to bow to Canada, right? They're going to bow to the crown. You'll see. These politicians have absolutely no fucking clue. They're a joke. They're dirty, disgusting. They can't come up with a thought in their own head. They steal from everybody, never once mentioning their source or where that platform came from. They just do it. They steal at will because they're the rightful owners of all of us. They're the precious crown, and they don't have to ask permission from anything. They don't have to follow any laws. They don't have to even follow international human rights because we don't have any. Canada has its own system. By the crown. that's not matched in world law. And the USA is done, so everybody knows why this video is so important. They are panicking. They're finished. They're grabbing at straws. They're manipulating massive amounts of separatists. Stay with us, kiddos. It's never worked in 150 years, but don't worry. Doesn't it sound so good? Like this was presented before, except for they forget to tell you that they're cut out of the presentations. Yeah, the crown can't exist in those presentations. They can't. You have to move on and match the allies. You've also got to secure all 5 of those allies in your independence, which nobody's bothered to do. I showed everybody how to do that. I showed everyone how to do it, and they quickly throw it away. And I want the crown for me. If you just let me have the crown, I'm going to make this extreme socialism work. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather just be a communist as long as I can carry the power. This is sick. It's nutty. Canadians are Kanakas. You're sick. You're low, degenerate. You're mentally ill in an institution that is vile and disgusting. It's never worked. It never will work. It's the anti-UN Charter. It's an anti of the Allies, which makes you what? A Nazi, a South Africa apartheid regimes type country. That's what Canada is and always will be. In all of its provinces, absolutely, and territories, as is the federal government. None of these people present anything viable for you, just more lies, manipulations based on cheating, thieving, manipulation, and fraud. We're finished. Canada is finished. We're going to be the 51st state. USA is not going to stop. And if you keep pissing them off, if you keep acting in such a disrespectful, ignorant, asshole manner, where you just say, fuck you, USA, you're done. And I'm sorry to swear, everybody. I'm sorry to hit it like that. But how dumb and awfully stupid do you have to be to continually fall for the same old word? Sounds real great, except for we have to keep the crown and we have to destroy the allies of World War II, meaning effectually we're going to be going to war with the United States economically. Are you a real complete moron? Are you that much of a narcissist, a psychotic, a social crazy? It's the psychology here is immense. It's terrifying. It's how do we succumb to this over and over? How do so many blindly follow this and believe it wholeheartedly when all you've seen is fuckery after fuckery after fuckery, decade after decade? They've got all the land, you've got nothing. USA, they sold out and settled the land for all the people, not big companies. It's pathetic. It's pathetic what Canada gets away with and what Canadians willingly support, and First Nations too. Thinking you're in some boat and canoe, some version of a wampum belt that doesn't exist in the United States with those who are the original wampum belt holders. So why are you fucked in Canada, but they're not in the United States? Because maybe they're actually following something real and you're in a fiction, a manipulation, where you allow elites, whether they're Indian chiefs or Canadian elected or appointed politicians, these elites run one crown of serious socialist and fascist enterprise against a mass majority who are institutionalized. They know to get the poverty class, and they know how to get that upper crown, 20% elite. Together, that's 40. They can bamboozle the other 10% by dividing everybody against each other, and then they secure their win over and over. And Canadians believe in a left and right, when really we're up here in pure autocracy. For all intents and purposes, a perverted military dictatorship. And it starts with all your police, the justice system, right on through the military, all public sector. We're really screwed in this country, and how people don't see it is beyond me. But America does. This president does. This entirety of House and Senate currently does. And they're not going to sit on their laurels and allow Canada to go forward. They're not going to allow your narratives to reign supreme. You're going to get crushed. And if you develop an enemy with the United States of America, there is no recovery. Because if you think Russia or China are going to come to your aid, or for that matter, UK or France, the king of kings on exploitation from Canada, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're going to go into extreme poverty, and we will. And you know what? We'll be banging on that USA door. You just wait and see. That's my video. Share, share, share. Click the link in the title. It goes into much more. Anyone who's followed me for a long time, anyone from Alberta Independence, Daniel Smith published my 2019 economic platform as Alberta, the independent UN landlocked state. There's a pile of laws that come with that, and that's through international narrative, where you win the 5 allies of World War II. She isn't doing any of that. She's taking them on. So's Francois Legault. Go read Bill 112, the new amendments, not the old one from 2002. I put that up, but that's the bill they're altering right now. All the interprovincial trade barriers going down, bringing in oil, natural gas, all of that, which I wanted to do too. But again, this is sovereign, independent Quebec. This is sovereign, independent Alberta. Not crown jewels in the constitutional monarchy known as Canada. It won't work. You don't have the military, you don't have the global sphere of influence, and you certainly haven't won any allies of World War II. In fact, the only one who holds your sphere of influence and majority, USA, you're going to fucking piss them right off. And if you lose them, you're game over. Game over, Canadians. First Peoples. There's no recovery then. This country will be a third world nation state. And you think of that in the dead of winter. I can tell you, Indians and Canadian settlers alike in their history will tell you all about winters and poverty and just what that means for death rates and death tolls in this country. And you can say that won't happen, that won't happen. It happens all over the world every day of the week when nutcase military regimes take over. And that's what we're looking at here. Nothing of viability, sounds great. Typical crown fraud. Why? Because they're protecting themselves. They're trying to save themselves. That's my video. God bless everybody. Bye now. Share, share, share. Get it out there. It needs to be shared.